Hey, what is up, guys? It is John from the Collectors Company once again doing another deck profile. Yeah, we had the OC Online Regional last weekend, which ended up coming third in with my Green Gohan deck. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to take home another dub. Can't start up another win streak again. But I'll still take a third. I get the third is literally like the lowest place you can get with getting decent prizing, so I'm not too fussed about that. And plus, I was actually pretty happy considering my only loss was to the person who won, and the person who won the event was the person who beat me, which has been Alan Liu, who's like a super duper respectable player. We had a pretty tight game, and I think looking back at it, if I did some things a little differently, I might have been able to beat him, but that's all hindsight. Which a lot of hindsight was on the weekend, so it is what it is. And yeah, very interesting event for sure. But anyway, yeah. So I'm gonna quickly run through my deck. Once again, I did play Green Gohan. It is like I don't know. I think everyone knows that. It's a very powerful deck. I'd argue it's the deck I'm currently playing the best in general. Like, yeah, the deck speaks to me. It's heaps of fun. And it's obviously having crazy results because it's literally winning slash topping like every event in the world right now. So chances are the deck, if Bandai still is invested in DB Masters, they'll probably do a ban list and do something about this deck because yeah, it's pretty good. And now there's like other green decks to choose from, aka Gobro. So yeah, they might tone it down a little bit. I'm not entirely sure, but honestly, the best card in this deck is the Floodgate. Funnily enough, but anyway, yeah, we'll just dive into the deck profile real quick. Let me just quickly change my screen zoomed in. It's been a while since I've done a deck profile like this. Normally I'll just do like, oh yeah, it's John, do my cards one by one. But everyone knows what Gohan does. I wanted to keep this video short and sweet because everyone is kind of over me talking about this deck, I'd assume, because it's the only thing I play nowadays. But yeah, so Green Gohan. Pretty standard, running the Time Chamber, running 4 of the 8 drop, 4 of the negate, 2 homicidal clones, 3 Goku Vegeta, 3 Goku Gohan, 4 of the 10k, then 4 of each of the Vegeta and the Trunks. I think that's all pretty standard. I think at this point everyone's like realized those are staples of the deck. I think the only thing out of those that you might consider cutting is you either play the Trunks Vegeta and you don't. Me personally, I think if you're not running the Trunks Vegeta package out as a 4 of each of them, you're kind of there's no point playing this deck. Just play Gobros instead because then you'll like if you're not utilizing the Time Chamber properly, it's like you might as well just play Gobros. I think that's my opinion on that. Two King Cold. I like and hate this card. I like it because if I have to floodgate my opponent, I try to use this as my first floodgate just because it won't be live later in the game. It's the main thing. It's just an extra floodgate you do get to play, and it's other than uneasing rage, it is the best one. I don't like it versus yellow and green because you just play this against green or yellow. They don't care. They'll just swing and pitch and draw. And they can also just clear board. So it's much more situational. I don't love the card. I don't hate it either. I think it's better for non-unison builds. I think this card's very good in non-unison builds, but in unison builds, which my deck has unisons, I think it's not as good. Next we have 3 Cooler. I was playing 2 in my previous list. This card's just too good. The fact that I'd argue the 2 hardest matchups for Gohan right now are is Black, you're running Petrification, and then also just Gogeta 8, because this deck struggles pretty hard to clear Gogeta 8 on curve going second, which is kind of depressing, which is, I was up till 2 a.m. with a spicy tech that I found at 2 a.m., which I'll go into a little bit. But yeah, I think so there's that, and the other thing, Black just plays Petrification that always hits the 8 drop and always hits the Vegeta. Most likely, you just have to assume that that's happening. But Cooler is another card that have to Petrify as well. So you realistically, the Black matchup kind of goes, you're trying to burn through all their petrifications while not dying, because usually the turn they don't have a petrification, you can win, which is fine against the majority of Black decks. I think SSG Trunks is a bit harder because they can clap you back pretty hard. So shout out to Benny. I finally beat Benny at a regional this one, so I was pretty hyped. So yeah, shout outs to him. Finally, after losing to him both times, I lost to someone else instead. but I was happy. Honestly, I was so happy I beat Benny. Beating Benny was like one of my favorite wins, period. I love you, Benny. Love you, Benny. But yeah. But that's why we were on 3 Cooler. I'm running 4 Vegeta in the main. This is the flex spot. You can take this in and out based on matchup. 2 clones, 2 cells. Because we're playing Limit Breaker, this is essentially another cells EDK if you let it build up. And then 2 homicidal clones. I almost lost to Benny, funnily enough, because the card I drew into from my SER pick was actually a cells EDK. And I thought I was 5k, like I would have had to use my all hand without another 5k in hand. But luckily, Yeah, luckily it wasn't the case. I was able to still outcome the attack and live, so thank God for that. But yeah, 2 homicidal clones, 2 cells EDK. I think if you don't run King Cold, you play 3 clones, kind of how it is, because you have 8 negates normal with these cards. But if you're not running King Cold, you have to play this, so you have 7 negates. It's kind of the math behind there. I'm running Bardic Awaken Instinct. The only reason I play this Overwhelm in my deck is the fact that it lets me put Hunt of the Demon God in my drop area on my turn without needing to interact with my opponent. That is the main thing I like about this card. It's the only reason I'm playing this Overwhelm. It's more of a sideboard tech. I'm probably gonna cut this with the new card the new tech I found right here when I'm hovering my mouse. This card's great. Next we have Faint Greeting. This could be the other SS4 Vegeta, or it could be Secret ID. It's just the personal preference of my Overwhelm. And then the 4 flex spots in the main, you just take if you're not versing green, you just take these. It's best of 1 pre-side, so it's like, okay, you just take these 4 cards out and put like cards that are useful for the matchup in. And yeah, that's pretty much it for that. The two main cards that I want to dive into a little bit here is my Unison choice as well as the SER choice. I'll go into the SER choice first. Shout outs to Robert Rizzi. He was the one who asked me to try this out, and I tried it out. Yeah, it was the SER to try out. Robert Rizzi first ran the idea by me, and he said that he was over Wicked Saiyans, and I kind of agree to an extent. Wicked Saiyans is the best part about Wicked Saiyans SER is the fact it's searchable. And then he suggested trying this, so I tried it at locals, and I was like, I resolved this once, and it was the as soon as I resolved it, I knew that this is the SER for this deck. It's like, look, alright, it isn't. This card is very good, but the problem, the two things, if you don't know what this card does, this card essentially lets you go into your Z leader without requiring the Android 16 play, and it also doubles as a 20k combo, draw a card, and it also floodgates your opponent for 25k power or more. I think this was one of the most impactful cards in my deck all weekend. I resolved it every game besides 2, and it pretty much won me every single game. I resolved it every game besides 1, and the only time I resolved it and I didn't win was against Alan, because I all-ined with using this card to pump my leader, and he was able to get out of the attack. And because I didn't have my second Z leader available, it costed me the game. But this is a pretty good Ritzy tech. He suggested it. Let's give full credit for him on this card. I tried it out. I really enjoyed it. This card does give you some deck building problems, though, I will say. This is the first time with Gohan. I actually struggled heaps with my Z deck for the first time. Because the problem, if you're selecting to choose this as your SER, I don't care what your argument is, you need to run 2 Z leaders. Because the fact that depends on the deck, but this Z leader is too good to not want to have it live. Like, yeah, it's true you can go into it without the 16, but it's like, yeah, if you lose your Z leader, like, you might not win the game with the SEO. You might be in a winning position, but you don't win the game. So chances are you might revert back down. And to get that extra bit of defense from the Z leader, you need to go into the second one. There's no ifs or buts. And it might get into the point of the game where you've already used your 16 to go into the Z leader. Then you've drawn into Bursting Rage again, and then you've just lost your Z leader. So there's that. But the reason why it gave me a lot of issues, I had to choose between running either 2 Z Broly or 2 of the Goku one drop, and I chose to run 2 Z Broly for the event, which ultimately I ended up regretting. I actually rate 2 of the Z Goku heaps, because I ended up going into the Gohan and the Goku combo heaps in this deck. It's like I tried to resolve this twice a game. Once to just get the initial value to pump them out, and the second time to have the Gohan sitting under the chamber to be like, I dare you to play something big, I'll remove it for free. So there's that. So that's the big thing about that. If you don't have this SER, don't feel like you have to force to. I personally really enjoyed this SER, but it does have its downsides, of course. The big one being it does restrict your Z deck. It isn't searchable like Wicked Saiyans, and it's not a battle card body. I think those are 3 big drawbacks about this SER. It's not a Cell Max that can win you a game. It's not Wicked Saiyans, which is searchable. It's not a Pan, which is a Floodgate plus a body. But the big thing about this card, it has a lot of very good synergy with the deck. I would, if you want to try it, just try it out. But huge, Robert Rizzi came up with this deck. I don't know if he's going to run it for his next event he plays or whatever. But yeah, it is what it is. Metacooler, Terrifying Horde. This Unison was my tech. I'm so proud of this tech because it actually won me my game. The reason I'm playing this card is for the +1 ability, where you get to pitch a card from your hand, draw 2 cards, and that's it. That is the only reason I want to play this Unison. The other 2 effects, the -4, you're never doing the -4, let's be real, the play 3 tokens, but the ability to create a free token every turn that sticks, it's pretty good. It's actually, considering that your leader combos with anything and it cycles your hand, the fact that you just generate that card you can combo off if you don't have a Gohan in play is actually kind of sick. That was nice. But why is discarding a card from my hand and drawing 2 cards massive? It's the same reason why I'm playing this Bardock Overwhelm. It's to get Hunt of the Demon God in the drop area. I swear to God, I hate versing my opinion on Gogeta, at first, when the reveals were coming out, the deck was busted AF. Deck was actually crazy. But as it turns out, Gogeta is not as good as all the hype. It might have won an A, sure, but like there was no black actually. There was no one was playing Mecha Kapura apparently. In an A, and that deck just collapsed Gogeta. I'm sorry, this is how it is. So, and I know that we have a lot of blue players in OCE, so I was expecting to verse Gogeta, right? And I know that if I lose the dice roll and my opponent slams Gogeta Secret Rare on curve on turn 3, I'm gonna have a shit game. So most of my thoughts of like siding was for Gogeta, because green has no easy way to clear it besides using Hunt of the Demon God, right? But normally my issue before playing this Unison was that I needed to see 3 cards to resolve Hunt of the Demon God. I needed to see A, I needed to see my Unison. B, I needed to see Hunt of the Demon God itself. And C, I needed a way to put Hunt of the Demon God in my drop area. Now, ultimately, this cooler just fixed that. Like, honestly, like, the fact that it's my Unison, which is great. Then it's also the way I get Hunts in the drop area is also great. And the big thing about it, too, is that the big thing about Gogeta, even, let's just say now I don't have Hunt, right? If I play this and my opponent slams, I don't have to attack my opponent to draw cards, which is actually pretty huge in the Gogeta matchup, because I always have to attack, I always have to neg. This is like, I'll sacrifice my turn not attacking Gogeta if it means I can win the game. That's the thing. That's the big thing about this card. This card, like, it was just the perfect card that I was looking for to answer Gogeta's Secret Rare specifically, and that's it. Other than that, this card is worse than King Vegeta. This is how it is. In every other matchup, I would rather slam King Vegeta on 3, because it's just how it is. But for Gogeta specifically, which I think this deck struggles against heaps, this is perfect for it, man. This card was great. I was so happy with this. I was up till 2 a.m. sussing out cards, and this is the card I landed on. And yeah, I'm gonna get some foils of this in this artwork. That looks sick. And yeah, I was happy. I was happy my tech was good. Speaking of King Vegeta, so my head's in the way. Let me just go screenshot view. So the rest of my sideboard is 2KV, Bardock Overwhelm. This is for Fu, 2 Hunt. Like, this is like, yeah, this is sideboard hate. Like, Screw Blue, Screw 21, my actual Unison. I'll probably change this to 3. I think I needed 3 King Vegeta because it's actually huge for the yellow matchup, so I can decide in if I'm not versing Gogeta. I'm not Gogeta, sorry. Yeah, if I'm not versing Gogeta, I'll just take out the 3 Mecha Coolers, which honestly, it's probably going to be the case. I'm going to probably just move the Mecha Cooler to my sideboard and King Vegeta back in, and then when I verse Gogeta, boom, 3 Mecha Cooler coming in. It's so dumb, it's great, I love it. Then Screw Blue, Screw 21, Screw Gogeta, Screw Gobro, Screw Benny / SSG, and screw like every card in the game. That's my sideboard. That's my sideboard, guys. I want to keep it short and sweet today. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will not be playing in the webcam event this weekend, so this is my last game. This is my last tournament of the season, so I actually did kind of want to win, so I'm like, yeah, I won my last thing before Nats, but obviously I can't win them all. I know if you're in the Facebook sales groups, I always like when I list my cards, I always call it DBS Monopoly as a meme, so because I like the idea I'm just the Monopoly man in OCE, which is pretty funny. But but it's not the case. I have to this time around. I do not have a monopoly on the gold Vegito this time. I do have a monopoly on the UI though. I can still hold back to my name. But yeah, that's it, guys, for my deck profile. Good luck to everybody in the OC webcam this weekend. Hopefully there is no shenanigans. Hopefully everyone's smooth sailing. And yeah. Until next time, guys. The next event and the last event of the year I'll be playing at is Nationals. Yeah, it's gonna be a good one. I'll see you guys then. This is John signing up from Collectors Company. Peace.